complete the DNA test.
My New Year's resolution is just to hold my baby and just to get to know my baby and develop a relationship with her. And it seems simple, but it's been kind of hard because I've been fighting for months for it, but I think it's almost to an end.
You couldn't see any breathing.
Anna and Howard went to Florida to pick up a boat to take back to the Bahamas.
When she arrived at the hotel, she felt very bad, very, very cold, and when they measured the temperature, it was 105 degrees.
She had to be carried into the hotel by the nurse, her bodyguard.
People tried to convince her to go to an emergency room, and she firmly refused.
We went to Florida, King Eric, a mechanic, and I, to get the boat ready and to bring it back. And when we arrived at the hotel, they were saying that Anna had a rough night, some kind of a bug.
She pretty much didn't leave that room for her entire stay.
The plan was that Howard and King Eric and the mechanic go to the boat to get it ready. Tasma had the day off. She was going to stay with me and with Anna.
There was 2 rooms, and in the middle it was like a sitting area. And I was asked to sit with Anna in case she needed help walking to the bathroom or in case she woke up and didn't see anybody.
Tasma had moved her computer into Anna's room. I heard the click, click, click of the keys.
So I sat there, worked on the computer, and in between I watched TV.
On the other side was another room where we were supposed to stay for that one night. So I ordered something to eat, I have my book to read. I must have been there about an hour and a half.
My husband called me to find out how Anna was doing. I was talking to him on my earpiece.
And I heard her talk, and I thought, Anna woke up. So I walked into the room.
She says, "Oh, Anna's awake, Anna's awake." I said, "No, she's not awake."
I realized it was Tasma talking on her cell phone. I said, "I thought you were talking to Anna," and I thought, "How long do you sleep during the day for a nap?"
She got right up to the bed. She says, "Something's not right."
I put my hand on her forehead, and it was warm, but her jaw was ajar.
She says, "You need to come over here and look." I says, "Listen, Anna's asleep. Please don't wake her." She says, "No, I just need you to come right to the foot of the bed on this side and look, and you tell me if Anna's, okay." So I walked to the other side of the foot of the bed, and I looked over, and what I saw didn't look good. So I got a little closer, and I saw that her mouth was open, and she was just laying there. I said, "Anna, are you okay? Anna, are you okay?" She didn't say anything. I didn't want to startle her. I lightly, touched her. No movement, no anything. I saw dark purple blotches on her face and on the top of her body. Looked like areas of non-circulating blood.
I grabbed her feet, and her feet were warm.
And she says, "Something's wrong because I'm bending Anna's foot all the way back and she's not responding."
I ran into the bathroom to get a mirror to put it under her nose. You couldn't see any breathing.
So I pulled the covers back gently and I shook her. So I'm feeling, to see if there's any air exchange. And I opened her eyes, and her eyes were fixed and dilated. So I felt for a pulse. I didn't get a pulse. So I hit my earpiece and I told my husband, "I'm trying to wake Anna. Anna's not waking up. It doesn't look good. She's not responding to me." I told him to come back as quick as he could and call 911.
It was very, very desperate then.
Hello, Virus here. Hi, this is 70, please. If you could please respond to the Hard Rock. It's going to be reference to a white female who is not breathing and she's not responsive. She's actually Anna Nicole Smith.
I did a chin lift, head, tilt maneuver, and I gave her 2 breaths. They didn't go in. I repositioned her head. I gave her 2 more breaths. They went in and fell for a pulse, still no pulse. So I just began CPR.
She really worked herself to exhaustion until Mo took over.
My husband rushed in and he said, "What's the matter? What's going on?" He walked up to the bed and he started pulling covers everywhere.
They wrapped her in the sheet and yanked her to the floor because there was more room to do CPR.
My husband Mo and I did CPR for a while.
I remember Mo saying, "Anna, come back, Anna, come back. You can't go yet where Danny is."
Tried to revive her. We couldn't revive her.
It didn't take long before the room just filled up with people. Firemen, paramedics, police, rushing, shouting, asking for equipment.
People were like pretty much stepping over one another. We continued CPR while they were getting everything ready, the life pack. They got the leads and everything on her and gave them whatever medications they were going to give her to reverse the effects of what could have possibly happened to her.
They moved us out into the hallway, and that's when Howard and Eric came.
They didn't let Howard in the room. They made him stay in the little sitting area between the two rooms.
I could see the pain in his face, and he was just totally, what happened? You know, what happened to Anna? Oh, if something happens to Anna, Anna's my life. I'm nothing without her.
When I walked out and I saw him, he was like on the floor. Like he had just hit the wall and his body just fell to the floor.
They wheeled her out then, and she had an oxygen mask on her face. I felt like she was still there, like there was still a flicker of life in her. Then they didn't let Howard go in the ambulance. Mo, the bodyguard, went with her. It was then treated like a crime scene. Everything was blocked. Nobody could be in the room. And the police did their work. They cataloged everything in his room. So many dresses, so many shoes. Then we all got questioned by the police.
No one was allowed to leave until all the interrogations were over.
Who are you? What are you doing here? What's your connection?
They wanted to know if there were any drugs in the room, which medications were there, did Anna wake up at any time. The only thing that I saw was a box of Tamiflu and a bottle of antibiotics, but those were the only two medications that I saw.
We didn't know which hospital she was brought to, so we could not follow up, so we had to just sit there.
At approximately 1:45 p.m. today, the 70 Police Department responded to the Hollywood Hard Rock Hotel. The person later identified as Anna Nicole Smith was treated by paramedics and transported to the Hollywood Memorial Hospital. At 2:49 this afternoon, we were advised by hospital personnel that Anna Nicole Smith had died.
I just fell to the floor. I just couldn't believe it.
We were just in total shock.
Howard is crying unconsolably, out of control.
It was so hard to see Howard like that. He was just crumbling right there. This was definitely the most traumatic experience ever I had in my life.
People were just trying to get that neck.
Come on, you know my karate chop.
At approximately 1:45 p.m. today, the 70 Police Department responded to the Hollywood Hard Rock Hotel in reference to a person needing medical assistance. At 2:49 this afternoon, we were advised by hospital personnel that Anna Nicole Smith had died.
My Aunt Virgie got really upset, if you can imagine, finding out that your daughter died, watching it over the television.
A tragic end to a controversial life. Anna Nicole Smith is dead.
My client, Larry Burkhead, wants to extend his condolences to the family of Anna Nicole. He is grieving. He's been up all night, and he is deeply saddened by the death of the mother of his child and the woman who was the love of his life.
I called Howard's cell phone, and Mo answered the phone. And he said, Anna's passed away. Anna's no longer here, and she passed away. And I said, what? Is this a hoax? What's, you know, 'cause you never know.
My initial reaction was a deep sadness.
Paul and I made it to the Hard Rock Hotel. We get upstairs. Howard's in bed. He wouldn't eat. You know, we made a deal that you can smoke, Howard. Every cigarette you want, you have to have a bite of food.
Howard was in complete isolation following Anna's death.